Sometimes the games that stay with us the longest aren't the biggest or the loudest. They're the quiet ones, the ones that whisper instead of shout, the ones that feel less like a challenge and more like a memory. Link's Awakening is one of those games. Before we dive into the dreamy, mysterious world of Link's Awakening, I want to take a moment to ask a simple question. What happens when the hero's journey ends with waking up? We're used to Zelda games being about saving the kingdom, defeating darkness, and becoming the legendary hero. But Link's Awakening is different. It's quiet, personal, almost surreal, and at the heart of it all is a strange, beautiful question. What if none of it was real, but the feelings still were? Released for the Game Boy in 1993 and later reimagined on the Nintendo Switch, Link's Awakening takes the Zelda formula and twists it into something that feels more like a dream than a quest. There's no Hyrule, no Zelda, no Ganon, just a shipwrecked Link, a mysterious island, and a giant egg resting on a mountaintop. And yet, despite its small scale, this game hit me harder than most epic games. Maybe it's a melancholy tone, maybe it's the bittersweet ending, or maybe it's because even though it's built on fantasy, it somehow feels more human than any other Zelda game I've played. I first experienced Link's Awakening through the Switch remake, and even though I didn't fully understand it at the time, it left this weird ache in my chest when it ended. Like I just said goodbye to something I didn't know I loved until it was gone. This isn't going to be a breakdown of every dungeon or side quest. This video is about the story, about Link, about why this little dream of a game still lingers in the hearts of fans, me included, and the quiet bravery it takes to let go of a beautiful lie. Koholint Island feels like the kind of place you'd want to stay forever. It's peaceful, colorful, everyone knows your name. There's a sleepy little village, a goofy shopkeeper, talking animals, seashells scattered along the shore. You've got your classic Zelda elements, dungeons, bosses, puzzles, but everything feels a little softer, a little weirder, a little too perfect. And that's the point. From the very beginning, Link's Awakening plants this quiet, unsettling feeling that something's not quite right. You wake up in someone else's house, you're told you're on an island you've never heard of, under a sky you've never seen, and then you learn about the Windfish, the mysterious being who sleeps inside a giant egg atop Mount Tamaranch. And the only way off the island is to wake it up, which according to the island's legends means everything will disappear. The world of Koholint is beautiful, but it's built on a lie. The game doesn't scream this at you, it whispers it. Little hints, characters having dreams they can't explain, enemies telling you things that don't make sense. Marin, the island girl who longs to see the world beyond the waves, even though she's never left the beach. It's also fragile. The more time you spend here, the more the cracks begin to show. Bosses start pleading with you not to wake the Windfish. NPCs make odd comments about the world not being real. And all of this tension builds without ever breaking the game's tone. It still feels light, nostalgic, even cozy. But underneath that charm is a slowly burning truth. This island was never supposed to exist. And what makes it hit even harder is how normal Koholint feels. It doesn't act like a fantasy dream world. It acts like a home. People laugh, dream, and sing. They invite you into their lives like you belong. You fish, trade items, play minigames. It gives you a reason to care about the people here, and that's what makes the cost of waking up feel real. Compared to Hyrule, or Termania, or the Great Sea, this island is small, but it's intimate. There's a kind of warmth to it that makes you care about the people you meet, and that's what makes it hurt when you realize they were never meant to exist in the first place. Where most Zelda games are about saving a kingdom, Link's Awakening is about something else entirely. It's about waking up, and whether you're ready for what comes after. Link doesn't say a word in Link's Awakening, but that silence speaks volumes. We're used to Link being a quiet protagonist, that's nothing new, but here, in this strange dream world where nothing is quite real, his silence feels heavier. He's not just a stand-in for the player, he's a presence, a witness to something that no one else on the island understands. As the story unfolds, Link becomes the quiet thread weaving through lives that were never meant to last. He helps, listens, and solves problems, but never truly connects. Every relationship he forms, every person he helps, it's meaningful but fleeting, and he knows it. Whether the player realizes it right away or not, Link is always moving forward towards something that will eventually erase everything he's touched. What's powerful here is that Link isn't trying to save anyone. He's not trying to restore a kingdom or defeat an ancient evil. His goal is to wake up, to leave. That alone flips the usual Zelda narrative on its head. It's not about saving the world, it's about letting it go, and yet Link still cares. He takes the time to help characters with their little daily problems. He gives Marin a reason to sing, He brings life to an island that technically never had one to begin with. The game gives you the option to rush through it, but it never feels like a game you want to rush. Link's quiet presence encourages reflection. You start to feel like you're the one intruding on something fragile, something sacred. In a way, Link's silence mirrors the dream itself. Dreams don't talk back. They just unfold, moment by moment, until they slip away. Link walks through the dream world knowing that it's temporary, and the closer he gets to the truth, the lonelier it all feels. There's a quiet tragedy in that, because while Link never says anything, you start to wonder what he's thinking. Does he know what he's going to lose? Does he feel anything about it? Or is that weight meant to sit with us, the player, the ones watching it all disappear? Link's Awakening doesn't spell it out. It just lets the silence linger. Marin is the heart of Link's Awakening, but not in the way you might expect. At first, she seems like just another friendly face on Koholint Island. She's cheerful, curious, and always ready to lend a hand. But as you get to know her, it becomes clear that Marin is the island's one true dreamer. She's the only character who dares to want something beyond the boundaries of Koholint. She dreams of seeing the world outside the island, to be free from the confines of her small, quiet life. And yet, for all of her aspirations, Marin is trapped on the island. She's the only one who feels the weight of the world's fragility. She knows that the island and everything on it is just a passing illusion, and perhaps that's why she's so important. Her dreams give us a glimpse of something real in this dream world. While everyone else moves through the motions, bound by their own roles, Marin's desire to escape is a quiet rebellion against the truth she can feel, but can't truly understand. In many ways, Marin represents the island itself, beautiful, fleeting, and full of yearning. Her longing for something beyond Koholint mirrors the player's own desire to make sense of the world they've just discovered. But what's most tragic is that Marin's dream is doomed from the very start. She'll never leave. The island's fate is sealed, and so is hers. But Link can't stay either. In a heartbreaking scene, Marin confesses her desire to leave the island, just before the truth of Koholint begins to unfold. And there's a sense that she knows what's coming. The inevitable destruction of the island and all of the people is inescapable. That's where Link comes in. Though his role is more subtle, he's a witness to Marin's dream, her hope, and her inevitable heartbreak. She believes in him, believes that he can change her fate, but she doesn't fully understand the nature of the world she lives in. She doesn't know that everything on Koholint Island is bound to vanish when the windfish wakes up. And Link, the silent hero, knows this, but he can't say a word. His silence in that moment is a reflection of what the game is trying to communicate. Sometimes the most painful truths are the ones we can't change. The most beautiful things in life, like Marin's hope for a better future, are sometimes fleeting. What makes Marin's story so poignant is that, despite everything, she doesn't give up. Her dream of leaving the island, no matter how impossible, is what makes her so unforgettable. She's a dreamer, but she's also someone who accepts the world for what it is. Her story isn't about accomplishing her dream, it's about having it, and in a way, that's enough. In the end, when the island disappears, it's not just Koholint that fades away, it's Marin's dream, her song, and her love for the world that will never be. And though Link has to leave, you can't help but feel that, for a moment, she really did exist. In her own way, Marin is the soul of the island, and when she's gone, a piece of the dream is gone with her. In Link's Awakening, what isn't said is just as important as what is. This is a game that doesn't need a lot of words to hit you right in the feels. The story unfolds through little moments, expressions, gestures, and landscapes that create an atmosphere far more emotional than a string of dialogue could ever deliver. The lack of spoken dialogue doesn't just feel like a stylistic choice. It feels like a way of letting us feel the story rather than just hear it. Unlike any other Zelda games, where long conversations and cutscenes guide the narrative, Link's Awakening uses its silence to focus on the emotional undertones. Take, for example, the way the game handles the transition between moments of joy and sorrow. Marin's song, sung with the limited Game Boy sound, carries an aching sense of longing. You don't need her to spell it out. It's in the way her eyes shine when she talks about her dream, or it's the wistful tone in her voice when she mentions seeing the world beyond the island. It's in the absence of words when Link leaves her behind at the end. That's the beauty of the game's narrative style. We don't hear the characters express everything they're feeling. They simply show it. And because the game doesn't rely on heavy exposition, the moments of emotional clarity hit harder. There's a tenderness in the way Link interacts with the world too. His silence doesn't make him cold or distant. It makes him an almost perfect listener, someone who lets the other characters tell their stories without interrupting or overshadowing them. This minimalistic approach also applies to the environment. As you explore Koholint, you'll notice each area is filled with subtle details that says a lot with very little. The empty beach, the weathered houses, the quiet whispers of the windfish's impending awakening. It all comes together to create a story of fleeting beauty. Even the final moments, when Link wakes the windfish and the island begins to fade away, are told with nothing more than visual cues. The tears in the sky, the soft ripple of waves on the shore, it's all done without words, but the message is crystal clear. By the time the island's true nature is revealed, you already feel the loss. It's not a twist that hits you out of nowhere. It's a heartbreak you've been quietly walking toward the whole time, without even realizing it. And that's why the silence works so well. The game doesn't rush you. It lets you take in the beauty, the joy, and the sadness without ever trying to explain it all. It's a story that doesn't need to be told. It just is, and you as the player feel it in your bones. The game's restraint in storytelling reflects the island's own fragile existence. Koholint's reality is built on something that doesn't need to be explained. Its purpose is to simply be. This quietness, this sense of everything being temporary, is the soul of Link's Awakening. And that's what makes the game so memorable. By leaving so much unsaid, it invites us to fill in the blanks with our own emotions, and that's where its power lies. It's a story not told by words, but with everything else. When the windfish finally awakens, Koholint disappears. And in that final moment, the truth hits like a tidal wave. Everything on the island, the people, the places, the dreams, they were never meant to last. This entire world, full of life, and color, and joy, a dream that Link and we as the player were trapped in. And yet, the game doesn't shove this reality in our faces. It doesn't demand that we feel the weight of it all in one sudden burst. Instead, it lets the final moments speak for themselves. As the island crumbles and fades away, Marin's song plays one last time. The melody, a simple tune, echoes through the destruction like a final breath. It's soft and sweet, just like her dreams. And it's the perfect tribute to everything that came before. Koholint was never a place to be saved. It was a place to be experienced, to be cherished for the fleeting time it had. And that's the bittersweet nature of the game. It makes us care about a world that doesn't even exist. Link watches as everything vanishes, knowing what he must do. He doesn't fight it, he doesn't protest. In the silence, there's a kind of acceptance. It's a quiet moment of closure that captivates the essence of Link's Awakening. The game isn't about fighting fate or escaping the inevitable. It's about accepting the world as it is. Even when the game fades away, Link's journey isn't about saving the island. It's about understanding it, experiencing it, and learning to say goodbye. The ending leaves us with a question though, one that lingers long after the credits roll. What was the point of it all? What does it mean that we spent all this time in a world that was always destined to disappear? In the quiet aftermath, it becomes clear that the journey itself, the relationships, the adventures, the joys, the sorrows, that was the point. The meaning wasn't in the island's survival or the outcome of Link's mission. It was in the moments spent living there, and helping the people of Koholint, and fighting the monsters, and listening to Marin's dreams. Those were real moments, even if the island wasn't. The joy, the hope, the love, they were real while they lasted. In the end, Link's Awakening isn't about waking up from a dream. It's about how we live while we're in it. It's about how fleeting and fragile everything is, and how the briefest of experiences can leave a lasting impact. The island may disappear, but the feelings we have for it don't fade away so easily. And that's what makes Link's Awakening one of the most profound and emotional entries in the entire Zelda series. It's not just a game about saving a princess or defeating an evil force. It's about understanding the importance of impermanence and finding a meaning in moments that can't last forever. The windfish has awoken, Koholint is gone, but the feelings it gave us, those stay with us forever. And just like that, Link's Awakening drifts away, like the dream it always meant to be. The island may be gone, but what it taught us stays. That even fleeting moments can leave a mark, and even silent heroes can say something powerful. Link never needed words to make an impact. In his quiet journey, we found a story about courage, loss, and holding on to what matters, if only for a little while. Thanks for coming along. If this resonated with you, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that stick with you long after the credits roll. Until next time.